Welcome back to the Super Rare Coins channel, your place to discover the hidden value and rare facts about old coins. In today's video, we're revealing the top 5 valuable coins, and one of them might just be in your collection. So don't skip this video, let's find out their real worth. Top 1. The 2004 Canadian 1-cent coin was part of the final decades of Canada's iconic penny before it was discontinued in 2012. On the obverse side, you'll see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Susanna Blunt, introduced in 2003. This was a new, modern design where the Queen is shown without a crown, a first for Canadian coinage during her reign. The reverse side features the famous maple leaf twig, designed by J. Kruger Gray, which had been used on the Canadian cent since 1937. This coin weighs 2.35 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and is made of plated steel with a copper finish. Now here's where things get interesting: the no mint mark detail. Normally, Canadian coins from this era might carry a P mint mark for plated or a W for test strikes from the Winnipeg Mint. However, the 2004 no mint mark version is relatively scarce, as most of the pennies from that year were struck with a P. A missing mint mark could mean it was an early strike-a-die variety or simply a limited batch. Collectors often seek out these small differences because they represent minting anomalies, and in the coin world, rarity equals value. The 1-cent coin has a long and proud history in Canada, dating back to 1858. For over 150 years, the humble penny was a part of everyday life, a symbol of Canada's economic and cultural heritage. By 2004, however, rising production costs were making it impractical to keep minting pennies. Each 1-cent coin cost more than 1 cent to produce, so 2004 pennies fall into the final era of circulation before the denomination was officially discontinued in 2012. This makes coins from the early 2000s, especially those with unique characteristics like no mint mark, historically significant. Now, let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the value. In fine condition, a standard 2004 Canada penny might only fetch a few cents in everyday trade. However, no mint mark versions have caught the eye of collectors on eBay coin shows and numismatic forums. Coins with clear no mint mark and excellent detail preservation have been known to sell from $1 to $15, depending on condition and demand. If you happen to find one in uncirculated or proof-like condition, it could fetch even more, sometimes $20 to $50 or higher, from a collector who specializes in Canadian mint varieties. If you want to check whether your coin has value, examine the mint mark area carefully. Under magnification, look just below the date. Check for die errors or doubling, as even a small minting flaw can increase value dramatically. Keep your coin in a holder or sleeve to prevent further wear. And always compare your coin with listings on trusted collector platforms or the Canadian Numismatic Association's records. So there you have it. The 2004 Canada 1-cent coin with no mint mark might look ordinary at first, but with the right condition and rarity, it could be a small treasure worth holding on to. Top 2. The 2005 Canada 1-cent coin represents one of the final years of production for the Canadian penny, which was officially discontinued in 2012. On the obverse side, we have the graceful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Susanna Blunt, introduced in 2003. Unlike earlier portraits, the Queen is uncrowned, giving the coin a modern and elegant look, symbolizing both strength and approachability. On the reverse, you'll find a maple leaf twig design, created by J. Kruger Gray, which has been a Canadian icon since 1937. This 1-cent coin was made of plated steel with a copper finish, weighing 2.35 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Now let's talk about what makes this coin special: the missing mint mark. Normally, Canadian coins from this period carry a P mint mark to show that they were made with plated metal at the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg. But occasionally a small number of coins were struck without the mint mark, either due to a die change, minting error, or a limited early production run. This no mint mark version is less common and highly desirable to collectors who look for variety errors or unique minting details. Remember, in the coin world, rarity always adds value. The Canadian 1-cent coin has a long and fascinating history. First introduced in 1858, it became a lasting symbol of Canada's growth economy and national identity. By the early 2000s, however, it cost more than 1 cent to produce a 1-cent coin, making the penny economically inefficient. The 2005 issue is part of the final generation of pennies before production officially ended in 2012 under the Harper government. So coins from this era, especially those with no mint mark or error features, carry a piece of that final chapter of Canadian coinage history. Collectors appreciate these coins not only for their scarcity, but also for their connection to Canada's farewell to the penny. Now the big question: how much is a 2005 Canada 1-cent coin with no mint mark worth today? In fine condition, most regular 2005 pennies might sell for just a few cents. But the no mint mark version adds rarity, and rarity means demand. Estimated market value as of recent collector trends: fine condition, around $1 to $5 USD, extremely fine condition, $10 to $20 USD, uncirculated or near proof condition, can go as high as $30 to $50 USD, depending on collector interest and auction setting. Some coins have even sold for more in online auctions, especially if the no mint mark is clear and the coin has excellent details with minimal wear. The value also increases if the coin shows die errors, off-center strikes, or double lettering, as these are extremely sought after by error coin collectors. Check if your coin is the valuable no mint mark version. Look closely below the date. If there's no P or any other symbol, you've got something special. Use a magnifying glass or a digital microscope to inspect the date area, the Queen's profile, and lettering. Any irregularities or minting errors. Keep your coin in a protective holder away from moisture or direct sunlight. Never clean your coin. Collectors prefer its original surface. So there you have it. The 2005 Canada 1-cent coin with no mint mark is not just a piece of pocket change. It's a little part of Canadian history that's slowly disappearing from circulation. Its rarity, no mint mark variety, and connection to the final era of Canadian pennies make it a true collector's treasure. Top 3. The 2006 Canada 1-cent coin was struck by the Royal Canadian Mint, and it's part of the last series of pennies before Canada discontinued the denomination in 2012. But on the obverse side, you'll see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented Susanna Blunt, introduced in 2003. This design is unique because the Queen is uncrowned, reflecting a more personal and modern image of Her Majesty. On the reverse, we have the timeless maple leaf twig design by G. Kruger Gray, a Canadian symbol that has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1937. This coin is made of plated steel with a copper finish, weighing 2.35 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Now here's what makes this coin special: the no mint mark variety. In the early 2000s, most Canadian 1-cent coins were marked with the P below the Queen's portrait or date, identifying that it was made using multiply plated steel technology at the Royal Canadian Mint. But some 2006 coins were struck without any mint mark, and that makes them rarer than usual. The absence of a mint mark could indicate an early die strike before mint marks were added, a minting error, or a limited experimental batch. For collectors, this subtle difference makes all the difference, because mint errors and varieties can become valuable over time, especially when they are from the final era of a discontinued coin. The Canadian penny, officially known as the 1-cent coin, has a rich history that dates back to 1858. For over 150 years, it symbolized Canadian heritage and economy, showing up in everyone's change pockets and piggy banks. But by the early 2000s, something changed. The cost of producing 1 penny had risen to 1.6 cents per coin, which made it uneconomical to keep in circulation. By 2012, the Canadian government officially stopped minting pennies, making coins like the 2006 edition part of the final generation of this long-standing denomination. The 2006 no mint mark penny is more than just a coin. It's a piece of Canadian history that marks the end of an era. Now let's talk numbers. How much is a 2006 Canada 1-cent with no mint mark worth today? In fine condition, a standard 2006 penny might be worth only a few cents, but when you add the no mint mark rarity, collectors take notice. Here's an overview of its current estimated market value as of today's collector market: fine condition, around $1 to $5 USD, very fine to extremely fine, $8 to $15 USD, uncirculated or mint condition, $20 to $40 USD, or even higher depending on collector demand. Some coins listed on eBay and numismatic auctions have sold for more, particularly those with sharp detail, no mint, mark clarity, and proof-like surfaces. Remember, the collector's market values not just rarity, but also condition, error features, and historical significance. If you want to see whether your 2006 penny is the valuable no-mint mark version, here's what to do. Inspect below the Queen's bust just above the rim. If there's no P, you found the rare type. Use magnification to check for die errors, doubling, or unusual markings. Avoid cleaning your coin. Cleaning can reduce collector value. Store it in a plastic coin holder or capsule to prevent further wear or corrosion. Taking care of your coin now means it could be worth even more in the future. So there you have it, the 2006 Canada 1-cent coin with no mint mark. May seem ordinary, but it's actually a fascinating piece of Canadian numismatic history. Its connection to Queen Elizabeth II, its rarity, and its place in the final chapter of Canadian pennies make it a collector's favorite today. If you have one of these coins, hold on to it. Its value could grow as fewer are found in circulation. Top 4. The 2007 Canadian 1-cent coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, and it's one of the last generations of Canadian pennies before the denomination was permanently discontinued in 2012. But on the obverse side, the coin features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Susanna Blunt, introduced in 2003. This was the first Canadian portrait of the Queen where she appears without a crown, showing a modern and dignified representation of her later reign. On the reverse side, we find the classic maple leaf twig, a design by G. Kruger Gray, which has appeared on Canadian pennies since 1937, a true national symbol of Canada. Each 2007 penny weighs 2.35 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 mm, and is made of plated steel with a copper finish. Now, what makes the 2007 no-mint mark coin stand out? Most 2007 Canadian pennies carry a P mint mark beneath the Queen's bust, showing that they were struck using multiply plated steel technology. However, a small number of coins from that year have been discovered without any mint mark at all. This absence could be due to a minting error, test strike, or early die issue before the mint mark was added to the dies. Because of that, the no-mint mark 2007 penny is a rarer variation, sought after by coin collectors who love identifying small differences that the general public usually overlooks. Even minor varieties like this can turn a 1-cent coin into a collectible worth real money. These coins are special. We need to look at the history of the Canadian penny itself. The 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1858, and for more than a century and a half, it was a symbol of Canadian everyday life. However, by the early 2000s, inflation and production costs began to rise. By 2007, it cost the Royal Canadian Mint more than 1 cent to make each penny. Despite that, the Mint continued production for a few more years until the government officially ended penny production in 2012. That means the 2007 1-cent coin belongs to the final era of Canadian pennies, making every year from 2000 to 2012 significant to collectors, especially versions that have varieties, missing marks, or minting anomalies. The 2007 no mint mark penny is one of those hidden gems from this historic closing chapter. Now, let's talk about what everyone wants to know: the coin's market value in today's collector market. That a regular 2007 penny in circulated or fine condition typically has little more than face value, but a 2007 no-mint mark version, especially in fine or better condition, can attract collector attention and real offers. Here's a general estimate based on recent trends. Fine condition, around $1 to $5. Extremely fine condition, $10 to $20. Uncirculated or brilliant condition, $25 to $50 or more. In some online auctions and coin forums, error-free no-mint mark coins with sharp detail and original luster have fetched higher prices, especially among collectors of modern Canadian varieties. And if you discover any minting errors, such as doubling, misalignment, or off-center strikes, the value can multiply several times over. Want to check if you have one of these valuable coins? Look below the Queen's bust. If you see no P mint mark, you have the rare no mint mark version. Use a magnifying glass to carefully inspect details, especially the date and edges. Never clean your coin. Cleaning can reduce its collector value dramatically. Store your coin in a plastic capsule or coin holder to prevent scratches, and moisture damage. Preserving the coin's original condition is key to maintaining or increasing its future value. Yes, there you have it, the 2007 Canada 1-cent coin, with no mint mark, may be tiny, but it holds big historical and collector value. It's linked to Queen Elizabeth II, the final era of the Canadian penny, and its missing mint mark rarity make it an intriguing coin for anyone interested in modern Canadian numismatics. If you find one of these coins in your collection, don't let it go. It's a small piece of history that could be worth more over time. Top 5. The 2008 Canadian 1-cent coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint, one of the most advanced mints in the world. On the obverse side, you'll find the graceful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Susanna Blunt in 2003. This portrait is iconic for being the first Canadian design to show the Queen without a crown, symbolizing a more modern, approachable image of Her Majesty. The reverse side features the legendary maple leaf twig design, created by G. Kruger Grayback in 1937, an enduring symbol of Canadian pride and identity. Each 2008 1-cent coin is made of plated steel with a copper finish, weighs 2.35 grams, and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. At first glance, it's a small coin, but in the collector world details matter, and tiny differences, like a missing mint mark, can make a big difference. Now let's focus on the key detail, the no mint mark. Most Canadian pennies from 2008 bear a P mint mark beneath the Queen's bust, showing that they were made using multiply plated steel technology developed by the Royal Canadian Mint. However, a number of coins have surfaced without any mint mark at all. This means they could have been early strikes before the P mark was added, minting errors, or variety issues caused by changes in the dies, because these no mint mark 2008 coins are not part of the main production run. They are much harder to find, and that rarity makes them desirable to collectors. Even in fine condition, a no mint mark penny from 2008 stands out from the crowd and carries added numismatic interest. The Canadian 1-cent coin or penny has been part of Canada's currency system since 1858, for more than 150 years. It represented everyday life found in pockets, purses, and piggy banks across the country. But by the early 2000s, producing the penny became too expensive. By 2008, each 1-cent coin cost around 1.6 cents to make, more than its actual face value. Despite this, the Royal Canadian Mint continued minting pennies for a few more years to maintain circulation. However, in 2012, Canada officially discontinued the penny, marking the end of an era. That makes the 2008 edition one of the final generations of the Canadian penny, and any rare variety, such as a no mint mark coin, becomes part of a historically significant chapter in Canadian coinage. For collectors, that connection to the final decade of the penny adds historical and emotional value. The big question: what is the 2008 Canada 1-cent with no mint mark worth in today's market? Let's break it down. Estimated market value as of today's coin trends: fine condition around $1 to $5 USD, very fine to extremely fine $10 to $20 USD, uncirculated or mint state condition can reach $30 to $50 USD, or even more in auctions. Some collectors have reported selling pristine examples on eBay and numismatic forums for over $60 US, especially if the coin shows perfect details and zero mint mark visibility. Of course, if your coin also has minting errors, such as doubling, misalignment, or off-center strikes, its value could increase significantly, sometimes 10 times higher, depending on rarity and demand. The key to high value is condition, rarity, and collector demand, and the 2008 no mint mark coin checks all those boxes. To identify if you have a valuable no mint mark 2008 penny, follow these steps. Check the area below Queen Elizabeth's portrait right above the rim. If you don't see the P mint mark, you might have the rare version. Use magnification to examine the coin carefully for details and possible die errors. Never clean your coin. Cleaning removes original surface details and reduces collector value. Store your coin in a clear protective holder or capsule to prevent corrosion or scratches. By protecting your coin properly, you'll preserve its historical and monetary value for years to come. There you have it, the 2008 Canada 1-cent coin with no mint mark. Might be small, but it carries big history and potential value, and it's part of the final chapter of the Canadian penny. It features the modern portrait, of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's one of the rare no mint mark varieties that collectors love to find. If you come across one of these coins, don't overlook it. It might just be worth more than you imagined. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Super Rare Coins for more amazing stories about rare coins, their history, and today's collector market. And remember, every coin has a story, and yours might just be the next super rare find.